Affinity Photo brushes can be used in countless ways. Just apply it, maybe multiple times, something like that. Well, I've been using this brush, dry media brush, and using the paintbrush tool. Well, I can also apply some effects to it. So I can distort it, I can make it into infinite kinds of designs. Just go up here to Liquify Persona, it's the second one. Click there, and then you enter this. Now I'm just using this one, the push forward. So liquify, push forward, and you can distort it in all kinds of ways. Sort of drag that and just drag that up. Once you're happy with the design, click apply. And then you see you've got that. So instead of your just basic brush, you've now got this really lovely distorted brush. Well, you can also use that as a great start point for maybe a brush as well, but also for a layer, for a pattern layer. So layer and new pattern layer from selection. You've got this selected, it's a pixel layer. So that pattern now can be resized. So I'm just going to remove that one, that pixel layer, just delete it. Then go to the move tool and I can then move this around and resize it. And you can see your pattern design. But also what you can do is you can hold down the Alt Option key and duplicate that. So you don't have to keep it just one layer. You can go, just drag. Now at this point you think, that's not much use, can't see anything else. But you can go down to Overlay, Lighten. You try out the different blending modes via the Layers panel. So I'm just going to go with Lighten. And you can move that around. Hold down the Alt Option key again, and you can see you can build up quite a complex design with single brushstroke. So that single brushstroke has now been extended to a real complex design. But what you can also do is you can apply effects to it, live effects. So you don't have to just keep it like this. You could, of course, select it all and merge it. Just go to Layer, and you can merge Visible to make it into a pixel layer. But you can still keep this alive. With nothing selected there, just go over to Layer, and you can go down here to a New Live Filter Layer and Blur and Gaussian Blur. And the reason the blurring, I just want to blur it slightly. It's because I'm going to use the lighting effect. It just seems to work best with a bit of blurring applied. So just put it up to about 3 or 4. You want the brush still to be seen. You don't want it to push too far. So something like that. Unfortunately, the slider always just jumps a bit too fast. Okay. And you can always come back to it. Always change it at any point. Now I'm just going to close this panel. This is the brush panel. Said dry media. You could use any of the other brushes. Just happened to use that one. Also, I was applying it to a black background and with blue. But just close that now. Don't need that as well. But what you can also do is, again, without that being selected, go to Layer and down here to New Live Filter Layer and Lighting. Lighting's great because it gives three-dimensionality to this to a degree. So with that, this is a live effect. You can come back into it at any point. You can change the ambient. But you can also go down here to the type. And I like directional. So directional, you can move it around, reposition it. So you can see and drag that, brighten it up a bit. But also you can go down here. And this is the reason why I've gone for the blur. So just change the texture. And then you can see now you get this lovely three-dimensional effect applied with your brush stroke. So instead of your basic just flat brush, you've now got this three-dimensional brush. And you can, of course, modify other things. You can change the direction. You can tweak that. Also change the ambient, shininess, and so on. Whole range of options there. And you can come back to it at any point. It's still live. So all these patterns as well. So you might think, oh, let's just select all those patterns. Now, I'm not going to merge them together. I could go to Layer and Merge Selected, but the result doesn't always match the actual design. But you can then move this around. With the Move tool, you can resize it. So just resize it like that, or move the individual ones. Just rotate around. Again, it's still all live. You can also hold down the Alt Option key and drag and duplicate that if you wish as well to build up even more complex designs. And again, rotate that. Just hover over there and you can see as you rotate it, you can build up that sort of design very quickly. And at any point, you can always go back to Gaussian Blur, double click, bring up this panel and then change the radius. And you can tweak it, maybe make it a bit more blurry, maybe reduce the blurring, maybe 2.6, 3.4, maybe slightly better. Or double click there on lighting, bring up that and tweak specular, ambient, direction and so on. And also you've got colour as well, so you can click here, change the colour. You don't have to go with the same colour as you've got on the screen. So now you've got this sort of mutant green weird and wonderful effect from that brushstroke. It's still live, and also if you wish you can always add another layer that's below those effects. That's the key thing. As long as it's below these effects you can add another brushstroke layer. It doesn't have to be a pattern layer, but you can select one of these pattern layers and just move that individually. So you can want to reposition it, you can. Once you're happy with everything, everything's done, you can always at any point go and merge it visible just here. Just go to merge visible to merge it all into one single layer. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you much.